Most adults over 60 ignore this subtle warning sign until their bone density reaches a breaking point. It starts with a slight morning stiffness, perhaps a feeling of unexplained fatigue that coffee no longer fixes. You might attribute it to aging, but science suggests something entirely different is happening inside your cells. We are talking about the primary engine of your immune system and the hidden architect of your skeletal health. When this specific nutrient levels drop, your body doesn't just age. It begins to struggle in silence. Many seniors believe they are getting enough through diet alone, but here is the cold truth. Diet is rarely enough to sustain optimal levels once you pass the 6-decade mark. Why is this nutrient becoming the most discussed topic in geriatric medicine today? It is not just about bones. It is about how your heart beats, how your muscles recover, and how your brain processes information every single hour. In this deep dive, we will peel back the layers of medical confusion. We will look at why your skin's ability to synthesize this sunshine hormone changes with age, and more importantly, how you can reclaim your vitality by understanding the true mechanics of vitamin D. Stay with me, because the data we are about to review might change your morning routine forever. We begin by looking at the invisible crisis unfolding in millions of households. Let's address the elephant in the room. Why is vitamin D different from every other nutrient you track? Technically, it isn't even a vitamin. It is a sequesteroid hormone. Unlike B12 or C, which you strictly get from your plate, your body has the miraculous ability to manufacture this substance. Your skin acts like a solar panel. When ultraviolet B rays from the sun strike your skin, a complex chain reaction begins, converting cholesterol into a precursor for active vitamin D. But here is the biological bottleneck. As we age, the efficiency of this manufacturing process drops significantly. A 65-year-old skin produces nearly 75% less vitamin D from the same amount of sun exposure as a 20-year-old skin. This is the physiological reality that most people ignore. You walk outside, you enjoy the morning sun, and you assume your internal battery is charging. But the sensor in your skin is no longer working at factory settings. This leads to a creeping deficiency that most blood tests might even miss if they aren't looking at the right markers. Why does this matter for your heart and brain? Because vitamin D receptors are found in almost every cell in your body, from the lining of your arteries to the deepest centers of your brain. These cells are waiting for a signal that isn't arriving. In the next section, we will uncover how this deficiency physically manifests in your daily movements. Consider the feeling of persistent bone aches that don't seem linked to any specific injury. You might think it is simple wear and tear. You reach for the medicine cabinet, reaching for anti-inflammatories, but the root cause remains untouched. What many seniors don't realize is that vitamin D acts as the key to the door that allows calcium to enter your bones. Without this key, calcium stays in your bloodstream, potentially settling in your arteries or soft tissues, while your bones become porous and fragile. It is a biological paradox. You have the material, but you lack the construction worker. This is why fractures in the hip or spine are often preceded by years of hidden deficiency. But the symptoms extend far beyond the skeleton. Have you noticed a decline in your mood? A persistent lack of motivation? Clinical research has shown a profound link between low vitamin D and the regulation of serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for your happiness and calm. When the brain is starved of this hormonal signaling, the result is often a fog that feels like depression or cognitive fatigue. We are not just talking about physical weakness. We are talking about the erosion of your mental sharpness. If you have been struggling to focus or finding it hard to stay positive during the winter months, there is a scientific explanation that has nothing to do with your personality. It is about the chemistry of your nervous system. So, who is at the highest risk? It isn't just about how much time you spend indoors. Geography plays a massive role. If you live anywhere above the 37th parallel, the sun's angle during the winter months is simply too low to trigger vitamin D production in your skin. Even on a bright, sunny January day in northern states or Europe, your skin is essentially idle. But there is another factor: protective clothing and sunscreens. While essential for preventing skin damage, these barriers effectively shut down your natural vitamin D factory. Then, there is the absorption factor. As we age, our digestive tracts become less efficient at processing nutrients from our food. Even if you eat the right foods, your body might not be extracting the vitamin D effectively. This creates a double-edged sword. You're producing less and absorbing less. This is where the medical community often sees the perfect storm of deficiency. But wait, there is a specific group that is even more vulnerable. Those with darker skin tones, due to higher levels of melanin. require significantly more sun exposure to produce the same amount of vitamin D as those with lighter skin. For many, this isn't just a lifestyle issue. It is a physiological challenge that requires a proactive strategy. Understanding your specific risk profile is the first step toward correcting the imbalance. We will now move into the practical world of testing and blood work. If you suspect you are deficient, guessing is the most dangerous thing you can do. The medical standard for sufficient levels has shifted over the years, and many labs still use outdated reference ranges. When you go to your doctor, you need to ask for a specific test. The 25-hydroxy-vitamin D test. This measures the circulating form of the vitamin in your blood. But don't just look at the normal box. Most longevity experts argue that the optimal range for health, particularly for bone density and immune function, is significantly higher than the bare minimum for preventing diseases like rickets. You're looking for a sweet spot. Most research points toward a range between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter. Anything below 30 is generally considered a deficiency that needs immediate attention. The surprising part is that some people try to fix their levels with massive, one-time doses of supplements, which is not only ineffective but can be counterproductive. Vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning it is stored in your body's fat cells. It requires a slow, steady intake to maintain a healthy baseline. We are not looking for a sprint. We are looking for a marathon approach to your health. The next part of our journey involves the diet. What you can actually do in your kitchen to move the needle. Let's talk about the dietary myths. You've likely heard that drinking milk or eating eggs is enough. But let's look at the numbers. To get the recommended daily intake of vitamin D through egg yolks alone, you would need to eat a dozen of them every single day. That is not practical, and it certainly isn't heart healthy. So, where does the real support come from? Fatty fish, like wild-caught salmon, mackerel, and sardines, are the gold standard. These are among the few foods that naturally provide a high concentration of vitamin D3. But there is a caveat. The quality of the fish matters. Farm-raised fish often have a fraction of the vitamin D found in their wild-caught counterparts. Then there are fortified foods, like some plant-based milks or cereals. While these can contribute to your daily intake, they often come with added sugars or processing agents that may not align with a heart-healthy diet. This is why many medical professionals recommend a combination of diet and intelligent supplementation. But how do you choose a supplement that actually works? The market is flooded with low-quality options that lack the necessary cofactors. Your body doesn't just need vitamin D. It needs magnesium and vitamin K2 to function properly. Think of these as the traffic controllers that ensure the calcium you are mobilizing actually goes to your bones, not your heart valves or kidneys. It's a delicate balance. This brings us to one of the most common mistakes people make: taking vitamin D in isolation. If you have been popping vitamin D pills for months without seeing an improvement in your energy or bone health, the missing piece is almost certainly magnesium. Magnesium is required to activate the enzymes that process vitamin D in your liver and kidneys. Without sufficient magnesium, vitamin D remains stored and inactive, literally useless to your body. It is like having a fully charged phone but no charger port to plug it into. Furthermore, K2 acts as the GPS for calcium. It tells the calcium, don't stop in the arteries, go directly to the bone matrix. Many seniors are inadvertently causing arterial calcification by taking high-dose D3 without the necessary K2. This is a crucial distinction that most supplement labels fail to mention. By understanding the synergy of these nutrients, you can transform your supplementation from a random guess into a targeted health protocol. We aren't just taking a pill. We are supporting a biological network. In the next segment, we will discuss how to safely integrate sunlight back into your life, even if you are worried about skin health. Sunlight is still the most powerful tool in your arsenal, provided you understand the geometry of exposure. You don't need to spend hours roasting in the heat. In fact, for a person over 60, the goal is moderate exposure during the times when the sun is at its most effective angle. This is usually the late morning or early afternoon, depending on where you live. Just 15 to 20 minutes of sun on your arms and legs, without sunscreen, can trigger a massive production of vitamin D3. But there is a catch. You have to be mindful of your skin's health. If you have a history of skin cancer or extreme sensitivity, the safest route is, of course, diet and supplementation under medical guidance. For everyone else, think of the sun as a medication. You wouldn't take a 10-hour dose of a drug when you only need 10 minutes. Use this time to walk, practice light stretching, or simply sit outdoors. The psychological benefits of being in natural light are as profound as the biochemical ones. It resets your circadian rhythm, helping you sleep better, which in turn allows your body to repair itself during the night. But what happens if you live in a place where the sun simply disappears for months? That is where you have to be even more disciplined with your blood tracking. How do you know if your plan is working? Consistency is your greatest metric. It usually takes about 3 months for blood levels of vitamin D to stabilize after starting a new supplementation protocol. Many people quit after 2 weeks because they don't feel a difference. But the biological repair, the remodeling of bone tissue and the optimization of your immune system is happening at a pace you cannot feel. This is why testing every 6 months is the gold standard for anyone over 60. You want to see the trajectory. If your levels were 20 and are now 45, you are on the right path. If they have barely moved, it suggests that your absorption might be compromised by gut health issues or low magnesium levels. Don't be afraid to ask your primary care physician for a follow-up. A good doctor will welcome your initiative. If they are dismissive, it might be time to seek a practitioner who specializes in functional or geriatric medicine. Someone who looks at the whole person, rather than just treating symptoms. Your health is not a series of isolated events. It is a long-term project that requires your active management. Your body has an incredible capacity to recover, provided you give it the tools it needs to succeed. Let's address the elephant in the room: age-related fatigue. Is it really just old age? In many cases, no. What we often label as the slowing down of aging is actually a culmination of years of minor nutritional deficiencies, including vitamin D. When you correct this, the difference in your quality of life can be striking. People often report improved gait, less joint pain, and a clearer sense of mental focus within months. It isn't a magic pill. There are no magic pills. But it is a foundational pillar. Without it, everything else you do to stay healthy, from your cardio exercises to your meditation, is essentially fighting an uphill battle. By stabilizing your vitamin D, you're providing the structural integrity your body needs to thrive. You're giving your immune system the ammo it needs to defend you. You're giving your brain the chemical support to keep you sharp and engaged. This isn't just about surviving. It's about staying vital, mobile, and independent well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. But we must be careful. More is not always better. We must talk about the risks of oversupplementation, a trap that many fall into in their quest for health. The danger of megadosing is real. Because vitamin D is fat-soluble, it doesn't leave your system as easily as vitamin C, which is water-soluble. Taking massive, excessive doses without medical supervision can lead to toxicity, which manifests as high calcium levels in the blood, a condition called hypercalcemia. This can lead to kidney stones, nausea, and in extreme cases, heart arrhythmias. This is why we advocate for optimal, not maximal. Your goal should be to reach that 40 to 60 nanogram range and hold it there, not to push your levels into the hundreds. Always start with a modest daily dose and work up to your target based on blood tests, not random advice from the internet. Remember, your body is a sophisticated system, not a laboratory experiment. Treat it with respect. Listen to the feedback it gives you through your energy levels and physical comfort, and always prioritize long-term sustainability over short-term results. By now, you should have a clear roadmap. Check your levels, optimize your magnesium and K2, get safe sun when possible, and track your progress with your doctor. You have more control over your aging process than you might think. We have covered a lot of ground today, from the solar-powered mechanics of your skin to the critical importance of cofactors like magnesium and K2. But the most important takeaway is this: you're the CEO of your own health. The science is clear, but it requires your personal commitment to act on it. Don't let another season pass by while you ignore the warning signs of fatigue and stiffness. If you are 60 or older, you owe it to your future self to get your blood work done and understand where you stand. The goal isn't just to add years to your life, but to add life to those years. Staying active, sharp, and pain-free is a choice you make every single day with the habits you maintain. Use the knowledge you've gained today to start that conversation with your doctor or to refine your daily routine. Thank you for joining me in this deep dive into the silent, essential world of vitamin D. Your body is capable of profound resilience, and with the right strategy, you can unlock a level of vitality you thought was lost to the past. Take the first step today. Your future self will thank you for the diligence you showed now.